Now, from the In-Quality Stand at NAB show at the Las Vegas Convention Center, streaming live around the world, showcasing ipDTL, Hybrid, and sip.audio. This is K-Sip. And here's your host, Townsend Coleman.
Well. Howdy do, everybody. Yeah, hey, it's Townsend Coleman here live from NAB 2019 in Las Vegas. And we're in the K-Sip studio right now, and we are going to be talking about all things ipDTL, but I've got a very special guest, somebody that I was hoping I'd be able to get on the air with us, and it's Mr. Joe Cipriano. Joe is absolute VO royalty. I've known Joe Cip for years and years, but let's get him on the air with us, shall we? Yeah. Joe Cip, are you there, my brother?
I am here, Townie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I was just watching watch the video. Muddy Dave Cavassier is there.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, here he is right now.
What's going on, Joe?
What's up, Dave? How are you?
How you doing, man?
It's excellent.
Good to hear you.
Yeah. Dave's been fantastic. You know, of course, he's been a Las Vegas newscaster for years and is now off the air, at least on TV, and is doing tons of voiceover from his house. It's been great working with Dave this week, and it's so great seeing you, my friend. You're not in LA right now, are you?
No, I'm not in my gorgeous Los Angeles studio. We're in Miami.
Okay.
And I have a little temporary studio that I use here in Miami.
Okay.
That is just kind of thrown together, but it works. And it's fun to be here. You know, my daughter and my son-in-law and my granddaughter, Townie, live here in Miami. So we come down as often as we can to spend a little time.
Well, that's awesome. And how are things going down there?
Beautiful. I mean, I thought Los Angeles weather was awesome. I have to say that Miami definitely beats it. It's 81 degrees every day, and at night it's 77 degrees and balmy. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah,
I love it.
No fooling. Now, you know, of course, you know that we're here in Las Vegas at NAB. Have you ever been to NAB yourself? You must have over the years. All your years in broadcasting.
I was there last year. Yeah. I was there last year, and working with a couple of different companies, BSW, and also friends over at Benstown.
Right.
And wasn't able to get there this year, but
okay.
It just gets bigger and bigger and better. The NAB is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, no kidding. And of course, as you know, I mean, broadcasting itself has just changed so much in the years that we've been in it, for sure. And when we talk about broadcasting now, we're not just talking about radio and TV. We're doing a live YouTube stream right now, and people can have their own channel. They can have their own station, if you will, at home at your kitchen table. You know.
How are you enjoying it? Are you having a blast there?
I am having a blast. I mean, this has been just great, and all the folks who are stopping by. We had Don Elliott stop by yesterday and chat with us for a while. Yeah, and he was telling us all about his current ventures, which are pretty exciting. I did a great interview yesterday morning with Shotgun Tom Kelly, and talk about
Shotgun.
Talk about radio legends, huh? I mean, that was a blast.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So I'm having a great time, meeting new folks and seeing old friends. Gary Bavona stopped by. Bivers from
Gary.
Our years at NBC.
I know Gary
and
very well.
Your
one of
time
the
at CBS.
talented audio mixers, and I worked with him forever at CBS and you at NBC. Yeah,
right. Yeah, sure. So it's just been great. Yeah. You see some old friends and you make new friends and stuff. But of course, we're here talking about ipDTL and the various products that In-Quality is putting out now with a Hybrip and especially sip.audio. I'm sorry, buddy, but it's spelled SIP, not CIP.
I understand. There's some sort of an error here. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I tried to talk to Kevin about that. Said, dude, you can get Joe Cipriano on board here and call it CIP.audio instead. He says, no, it's actually session what was it? Help me out, guys. It's session. So I think we just go to Kevin Leach whenever we have a question here.
Hi, Joe. Nice to see you. Initiation is the word you're looking for.
Initiation, that's it. Thank you so much.
At VO Atlanta.
Yes, I did. I saw you in Atlanta a week
Very
ago.
good.
Thanks for
Excellent.
coming on and talking to us. And once you are happy, Townsend, and you've got Jack on as well, if you want, I'll come in and show you how to make Joe full screen on that screen. Or you can figure it out for yourself.
Well, I can't.
So are you going to bring Jack on first?
I am going to be. I'm going to bring Jack on right now.
Great.
And of course, Joe Cipriano is a good friend of Jack Daniel, a premier voiceover guy in Los Angeles. And it's not Jack Daniels. We lost the S here and used it for sip.audio. But we're going to bring
where
Jack.
the S went. Yes.
Yeah, we're going to bring Jack on right now. Jack, you there, buddy? Jack Daniel.
I sure am. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
There's
Let me
Jack.
bring your level down just a scooch. Yeah. How are you, man?
Jack is always extra loud for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Well, he's not only extra loud, he's extra tall and
He
extra
is extra
loud.
tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't he?
It was
So-
a lot harder to get tall than it was to get loud. So
So, Jack, you're in
Boy,
L.A.
do I know that.
You're home in L.A. right now, right?
I am in Los Angeles, the great fair city, whose weather has just been so maligned by Mr. Cipriano.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks,
but
thanks, buddy.
Once you come here, you'll see. I mean, I did, the weather in L.A. is fantastic, but wow. Florida
I
here,
love
it's
Florida
just-
weather, Joe. I'm with you. I think it's fantastic. I love the Fort Lauderdale
Incredible.
weather and all. It's really terrific.
Yeah. So Jack,
yeah.
you're at home in L.A. Joe, you're in Miami. We're hooked up over ipDTL, and folks on the YouTube stream can take a look at our YouTube interface right now. And Kevin is going to help me
I'm going in to
figure out how to take this full screen. So we're going to take Jack down a little bit. He's still a little loud, and we're going to go to video, I guess, and.
Do you want
I'm
me
looking
to?
at
There
the
he
video
is.
right now.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Joe, you are full screen, man. You need to know this. Yeah.
I am full screen, baby. Oh, there I am. Yes.
Joe's being projected like Big Brother across the entire NAB conference right now.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
If we have
So-
to have Big Brother, I'd rather it be Joe than somebody else anyway.
This is going to be hard talking about sip and sip, two sip.
Sip with sip. Yes.
That's right. But dude, I'm gonna show the folks here. I don't know that you'll be able to see it particularly, but what I'm going to do is show
I'm
the folks
watching
here.
your feed also on my iPhone while we're doing our conversation.
Right, got it.
I've got
Okay.
it all going on here.
Yeah. Isn't this amazing that we can even do this? It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. You look good, Townie.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I got my headphones and my glasses on. So yeah, it's sort of the story of my life, right? Yeah, and you look happy and healthy. I know you're visiting grandkids down there. and
well, thank you.
That's always
Thank
the
you.
best,
Yeah.
isn't it? So anyway,
How
I've
do I
got.
look,
the best,
Townsend? I
thank
look
God.
okay?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Jack on camera, so
That's
we're
what I
not-
mean. That's why I look really
Yeah.
good.
So you got
Yeah.
that face for
Yeah.
radio, man.
Yeah, Jack, you've never looked better.
The fact is, with Jack, he's so darn tall he can't fit into most studios, and he towers above most cameras, so he can't do any on camera work. So at any rate, Joe, I'm going to just show the folks here on the YouTube stream. It's this app on my phone. It's called Lucy Live.
Right.
With this, I'm a broadcaster.
Yeah.
It's an interface that gives me two-way audio, and this is. Now, it turns my phone into a SIP-enabled device. And
Wow.
with this, Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's crazy with this. So you can use it just as a phone, and the mic on the iPhone actually is pretty darn good. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do sessions like that, but if you were a
Right.
reporter doing contributions, from the field, calling into a radio station, absolutely, the quality's terrific. I've been demoing out here. I've got just a little splitter for my lightning connector that splits out the USB to the headphones, and I put on headphones,
Right.
plug a little USB mic into the lightning connector on the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, and with my headphones and my mic, I'm broadcasting, and I could do a session like that
amazing.
depending on the quality of the mic. Now, what I do,
Now, can I, without getting into a lot of other brands involved, like,
Right.
for example, Townie, I have a piece of equipment that would plug into the iPhone.
This is where I'm
and
going.
It's an interface
This is-
that will allow me to plug my 416,
Yep.
the three-prong jack into that.
Yep.
So then I could do that and then use, it's called Lucy, is that what
called
it's called?
Lucy, Luci Live. Yes,
And I could use that and then connect with ipDTL or whomever.
Absolutely. And yes, I was going exactly where you were going just now, and have no qualms saying that it's by Centrance. And
Right.
yeah, it's called the Mixer Face R4. And
Exactly what I was talking about.
and I'll tell you a little story, because about 3 weeks ago, Kevin was helping me set up Lucy Live. Now, understand that I've had Lucy Live on my phone for about maybe 5 or 6 years and have never used it.
Really?
Yeah, because
Wow.
I heard about it. I thought, oh my gosh, this holds the promise of us being able to do our sessions from our phone. I don't even have to
Yes.
schlep a laptop with me now. So I got it. Back then, nobody was using it, and I didn't know how to use it really, and probably couldn't have back then. But Kevin, when he got the sip.audio system going, helped me just configure this app on my phone for being able to do sessions over sip audio. And so
Wow.
we did a test. He was in the UK. He was on his ISDN line up in the north of England, and I was in my living room just talking to him over this thing using my cell system. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I can do this. So then about 2-3 days later, my internet at home goes out. And I kind of panicked because I thought, I can't do my session now. I don't know how I'm going to connect to Studio City. And then I remembered, oh my gosh, I've got this Lucy Live. I wonder if I could do this. I had designed a station, just like we would set presets at the very
Right.
top of this thing. You see where it says NAB host. That would be
Yeah.
this studio to do a demo. But I've also got one that says SC Audio 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I were
Yeah.
to just click on here and go to, this is my station list. Don't know if you can see this or not, but it says
I
SC
could, yeah.
Audio A, Audio B, Audio C. That's Studio City. So I can just click on Studio City, Audio A,
Right.
like
Oh,
that.
I see it. Sure.
Yeah, and then they're right at the top, and all I do is I hit this antenna button over here. That starts
Yeah.
the session. Then I hit the mic button, just like with
amazing.
ipDTL. That connects us.
So then,
So
that connects you to Studio City, who you and I work with, and Studio City is coming in through ipDTL.
Correct. This brings me up
Yeah.
in their ipDTL browser interface,
Wow.
rather, just like I would do my session every day. So I hooked my
That is amazing.
So I
That's
hooked my
amazing.
Centrance mixer face R4
Yeah.
up to this with my lightning connector. Plugged my 416 into the mixer face, had my headphones. I'm completely wireless because, as you know, the mixer face is rechargeable, so it's a cordless device.
Right.
And I was completely untethered, did my session over the cell
Amazing.
network, and only had
Yeah,
one.
that's what I was going to say. So your internet was out, so you were able to do this over data over the cellular network. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's correct, and it worked
Wow.
perfectly. And I, to be honest, I get crappy cell service at my house, and only had one bar, one little nick of signal, and still was able to do my session. And you drink a whiskey this time of day?
That's Snapple.
There you go.
Is that what we're calling it these days, Joe?
Yeah.
It's Diet Snapple.
Diet Snapple. Yeah, it's diet whiskey. And so I did my session with 1 bar of signal over the cell network. Anyway, long way around saying that this thing just plain works. It's Lucy Live. It's not cheap. It's about $300. But once you buy it, you own it. There are no, subscription fees or anything like that. You just have it on your phone.
Yeah,
and
but what it allows you to do to untether you from, everything that we lug around with us, like, for example, this is my temporary studio here in Miami. So I've got my laptop that I'm using. I've got my Apollo Twin, Solo that I'm using. I mean, it's a full studio. I've got nice studio audio monitors here. I've got, all everything that I need to do, my sessions.
Yeah.
But if I was in a situation where we're in a hotel room or whatever, I could just pull out the Centrance and use Lucy and then connect through ipDTL. And at the same time, if my client is on ISDN, that's not an issue either.
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
Exactly. I mean, look how we can connect now. We were always pining for those days when we could snip those, unlock those golden handcuffs, get us out of our studios, get us out of our closets at home, and be able to go mobile. Well, ipDTL, of course, allowed us to do that on our laptops, and still be able to connect with ISDN flawlessly. But now we can even ditch the laptop and just use our phone. And the cool thing about Lucy Live, Joe, is that as I was doing my session, of course, I needed to read my script, right? So I could bring up my script in the email. It doesn't hang up the connection of Lucy Live. Lucy Live, remains live in the background. And I just brought up my script, did the whole thing right off my iPhone screen.
You know what? You have always been, you have been at the forefront. You, Bo Weaver,
I just talked to Bo yesterday about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Sure you did. Yeah. I remember going back a few years to the 90s. I remember bumping into Bo in the parking lot of a Tisherman agency, and he said, I've been using this thing called MP3 to send audio out. I don't have to send DVDs out overnight anymore. And I was like, let me write that down. It's called what? MP what?
Right. Well, you remember the days. I mean, when I came to L.A. in '84, and so much of the technology was changing back then. And as Bo was talking about yesterday when we were talking to him, he was, harking back to the days of Switch 56. Remember Switch 56?
Yeah, I had a Switch 56. Yeah.
And
I when Telos first came out with their box,
their Zephyr,
I teamed up with them in BSW and helped them introduce it. And we introduced it at the NAB. Had to be around 94. I can't remember when it came out, 93, 94. And I did a live hookup from my studio in Pacific Palisades over ISDN, over the Telos Zephyr, to the NAB, to an assembled group there to explain how this connectivity, this miracle of connectivity works.
This new technology. Right.
And on my end, I couldn't even get ISDN. I had to be on Switch 56, which, it required another box, and it was pretty much just copper wires, that we were using.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah.
And it sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you one other story, just because, to talk about where we've come from. I remember after doing that, talking to Fox, you were at NBC, Voice of Comedies. I was at Fox as the Voice of Comedies. And I said, guys, you know what? You can get one of these boxes and I can get one of these boxes. And if we have late night, changes, I can actually hook up from my studio in Pacific Palisades. And I remember one of the execs there saying, you know what? If we do that, you'll never show up in the studio again. And I said, no, it won't be like that. And then look at where we are today.
And
nobody goes in anymore.
Yeah.
We're in all our studios.
And now it's like that. Yeah. So
and now it's like that.
Right. Now I know you're a big world traveler, and Jack, God bless you, man, for just hanging on there. I'm gonna get to you in just a sec. I don't want to.
No worries, man.
Don't want to lose you. But Joe, I know that you're a big world traveler, And you've had some pretty amazing stories to tell about your miracle connections that you've had to do around the world. Were you one of these guys that used to schlep a Zephyr box with you to your pad in New York when you'd go there and install ISDN lines for a week or two while you were visiting?
I did all of that, Townie. You know, back in the 90s, wherever we went, even if we were going to New York City and we were going to stay, say, at the Four Seasons Hotel, I would start 2 months before talking to their tech people at the hotel and ordering an ISDN line and having it put in, and it would only get put into the switch, which was somewhere downstairs, and then it had to be run, up to the room that we were going to be in. And in New York City, you're talking about how many different unions have to be involved in that.
Oh, my gosh.
There's the union from the phone company that's going to get it into the switch.
Right.
But then there's another union that's going to have to run this line up to the room.
Right.
And it would literally, I remember the first time I did it, it cost me $1,000, to put this line in.
Just to get the line in.
I was going to use it for a good 10 days, and I was going to do a lot just to get the line in. And so, I could pay for it by, doing the work. But I remember going back the next year. I said, you know what? We'll do this again. We'll go back to New York, see some shows, bring the kids. And I called up the Four Seasons and I talked to the tech guy, and it was a new tech guy. And I said, I'm going to want to put in an ISDN line. And I was ready to explain what ISDN was and all of that. And he goes, we already have an ISDN line. And I go, and I'm thinking, well, that's my line that I put in. I said, well, fantastic. Then you could just run it up to my room. He says, absolutely. He said, you could use it in your room, and it'll be $500 a day. I said, wait a minute. I put the line in. I spent $1,000.
I've already paid for this thing.
What the heck?
Yeah, exactly. Now, one other memory.
No respect whatsoever.
Yeah. One other memory I have back when we were at NBC. And you went on vacation. You were over in Europe, as I recall. And you were, I think, on a cruise ship. Is this right? And you had to do a session with them, and you had some crazy cockamamie setup. Can you explain that one? You remember that one? That was pretty awesome.
It was ridiculous. I was working both at NBC and at CBS. I was comedies at CBS and doing dramas at NBC.
Which is amazing to me that
we were off the coast of Greece. Yes, I know. So we're off the coast of Greece on this cruise ship, and it was Ann and Dana and Alex, the whole family. We were there having a wonderful time. So my sessions would start up local time in Greece at about 1 a.m. So after a full day of fun and dinner and, whatever is going on, I find myself in the cabin sitting down, and where I'd set up in the cruise ship, there was a mirror right here. And I'd be looking at myself at 1 o'clock in the morning going, oh, my gosh, you're just starting work right now. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And the cruise ship internet was so slow. I mean, it was, like dial-up speeds. There was really nothing that we could do, and there was no ipDTL. The technology is not there. Barely what we had was AOL chat, if you remember AOL
Oh, my
chat.
gosh, yeah.
So what we would do is I had my friend Paul Roby, who owned a studio in Hollywood. He would hook up with NBC on ISDN. NBC would play the spot down the line to him at his studio. He would take the audio from the spot, turn it into a low-res MP3, and slide it over to me via AOL chat.
Wow.
And it would take, 10 minutes for it to come over. It'd come over. I'd import it into Pro Tools in my laptop. I'd read several takes on it. And then I would take just my audio, just me, without any of the audio from the spot or anything like that. So me soloed, the highest quality, output it, put it into AOL chat, slide it across to him. It would take 10 minutes to get to him. He would take it, and then he would put it in the spot and slide it across ISDN back to NBC. It was like, oh my God. It was ridiculous.
Okay, so what year would you say that was, roughly?
Let's see now. That was 2005 or 2006, so not so long ago.
Yeah. Wow, think about how far we've come since then, and just a matter of
Shockingly enough.
10, 15
Yeah.
years. So here we are on ipDTL,
Yes.
and we got our buddy Jack Daniel on the line with
Amazing.
us as
Yeah.
well. So you're in Miami. I'm, of course, in Las Vegas at NAB 2019, and Jack, you're back home in LA in your pad. Are you in your studio?
I am. Just got back too, actually.
Okay, and what are you up to these days? Tell us how you use ipDTL. I know you've been an early adopter and have been a great proponent of ipDTL and everything that Kevin Leach has done through Inequality here. And so tell us.
Kevin has some compromising video of me, so I have to be a proponent of it.
I got it.
No, that's not true.
I got it. Okay.
I use ipDTL all the time, Townsend. I use it to connect to major studios. I use it to connect to trailer houses around town, and just for commercial jobs. I actually also use it. One of my favorite uses for ipDTL. I mean, as an ISDN replacement for me, that's what I primarily use it for. But
which I think is probably true for most of us.
I think so, and
Yeah.
it works flawlessly. I've never had no one knows because my numbers they look like ISDN numbers, and no one cares because it works
Right.
and it sounds great.
Right.
But what I also use it for quite often is phone patch because a lot of my sessions are done with phone patch.
Right.
And you can actually use ipDTL as a phone patch replacement also, which sounds much better than a regular phone call would.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, so the way that's done, for those of you that might be watching the YouTube stream and are new to ipDTL, I'm not sure quite how that works. What Jack is saying is that instead of your producer calling you over the phone and you piping that into your studio somehow through a phone patch box, which is the way we used to do it. Within ipDTL, of course, we do have a dial pad. I mean, we can do a traditional phone patch where we would just dial their phone. They would talk to us over the phone, and we would hear them on their phone within the ipDTL browser. However, what Jack is saying, and I completely agree, it's a much better way of doing it, is if you've got a client who is a phone patch client, and that's what they're used to, what I would do, and Jack, I'm imagining that you probably do something similar, is I say, so how about we do this on your laptop instead of on your phone, and you just put a pair of earbuds in. I'm going to send you a link, and that link would be what we call the Link Plus link here on the Quick Start page. You'll see used to be called Link Plus. It's now called Send a Link, and our dedicated URL is this link right here that we can send a client, and they simply put it in the Chrome browser. Bring up that page, put in their name, click enter, and they show up in our list of destinations, which is right here. And you'll see Jack Daniel there, you see Joe Cipriano there. And so that's how we would connect. They would connect like that. And now they can hear me as if they're in the studio with me. And I can hear them just as if they're in the studio with me as well, like on a talkback. And it's really Jack. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of you, but is this what you're talking about? Is this how you use it as phone patch?
Absolutely. I do that, but also when they're all on a conference call, say there's like 8 people and they all want to listen and contribute.
Right.
Then I can just dial into them. I just put that number. I can copy and paste it, or I can use that dial pad you showed earlier.
Right.
And that allows me to talk with everyone too, and I don't have to have a phone next to my ear or some such.
Right.
And so my hands are free to do what I need to do. And plus, what I love too is to completely jump ahead again. Is that mixer that you're looking at right there? Because if they're coming in really hot or they're doing some playback, I can adjust what I'm hearing with the mixer as well as my output, which clearly I needed to do earlier when I was coming in way too loud. At least Joe says so, but he always says I should be quieter.
Yeah, but and what you're describing is a perfect use of ipDTL for us voiceover people. and a great way of using it too. You know about the so another way of being able to use it, aside from just being able to hook up with an ISDN client, of course, is peer-to-peer, computer to computer. If they have ipDTL and ipDTL account, we can link our login IDs, and they show up in our drop-down menu right here, which we would then click on, and they'd show up then in the list of destinations just below it. And we click on them, we're connected instantly. They show up in the red connection box here, just like we've got Joe and Jack. And then off we go. Off we're running. So many different ways of connecting. Jack, do you have a story or a recollection of maybe some crazy way that you've used ipDTL to connect with somebody that heretofore you wouldn't have been able to?
I don't have any really great stories like Joe does, so maybe we should just we could have Joe come up with yet another one. Because honestly, for me, Townsend, I'm so often right here in my own studio that, and I'm afraid to go anywhere. So
Jack,
I
just make up these stories. You can go ahead and make something up.
Well, then mine actually does involve a gorilla and 2 ducks, and it starts a little bit something like this. No, but because I'm at my home studio so often, and kind
I
of
love
on
2 ducks, not 1 duck. There are 2 ducks.
See, 1 duck is funny, but 2 ducks, that's comedy.
That's comedy gold, is what that is, brother.
That's real comedy.
But for someone like me, Townsend, I really do need to be available all the time, and so something might come at 8:30 at night or something, and I need to be able to jump in my studio, and ipDTL is so easy to fire up via my my Chrome browser that it's a cinch for me. But knowing that what you guys are telling me, especially with this new technology you were just mentioning, that app,
The Lucy Live,
which I hope you show that again. But I might look at that because I do become afraid sometimes to go anywhere just for those reasons. So that'll be really interesting to explore.
Well, here I'll give you another shot of the Lucy Live interface. Again, this is an app on my phone.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
And I can put in the top right there, I can define what they call stations in Lucy Live. They're just presets. And then I can hit the antenna button, which initiates the connection. Then I hit the mic button right next to it. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, and then that actually connects us. I've got a headphone volume and my mic volume on there. And like Joe and I were talking about earlier, the great thing is you can connect a professional interface to it. The one that I use and the one that Joe uses is by a company called Centrance. And they've got a thing called the Mixerface R4. And this Mixerface is a little bit of gold right here because the mic pre's on it are super quiet. They sound fantastic. I've got a micro USB to Lightning cable. It plugs right into the bottom of my iPhone. And then I plug my 416 into it, a pair of earbuds, and I'm good to go. It's obviously got mic gain on each of the channels, monitor on each of the channels. It's 2-channel. But it also has a mix dial.
And it sounds good.
knob.
It's a great little preamp.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. And it's got a mix dial on each channel as well, which is essential for me because when I use it, I do promos. So I announce 2 tracks, and I need to hear the track coming back at me so that I can announce to it, and then they record my voice on their end. If my mic is too loud and I can't hear the track well enough, I hate it. And if the track is too loud and my mic's not loud enough, I hate it. So I need to have control over that, and that's what this little mix knob on each channel is for. It's brilliant. And what makes it really super brilliant is the fact that it's cordless. This thing is rechargeable with a USB cable. Battery lasts a good long time. Yeah, so you're not even running out of batteries. Your batteries are dying. You can take an extra power pack with you if you need to recharge it on the go. I mean, it's just as brilliant gets. Yeah. So Jack, if you haven't checked out the Centrance Mixerface R4, do for one, and then also check out this Lucy Live LUCI. It's by a company called Technica del Arte in I think I don't exactly know where they are. I think they're Denmark or someplace like that. But it's a lifesaver. And like I said, when my internet. Oh, and the other thing, of course, is that you
Very
can use
cool.
it over Wi-Fi, but to be able to use it over the cell network, and imagine what it's going to be like. I mean, it works great now, but imagine what it's
the
going to
cell
be like.
network,
When 5G comes along.
You know,
that's right.
by the way, Townie, I did want to tell you that I was using ipDTL once. I was in the car. You know, I needed to do. It was a pickup session,
Right.
and so I was able to use ipDTL on my laptop, but of course, there's no Wi-Fi to hook up. So I tethered through my iPhone, the laptop through the iPhone, used the data service, the cellular service.
Yeah, your hotspot.
And I was I think I was hooking up with Studio City at the time. Right, like a hotspot. And did the session from the backseat of the car, also tethering through my iPhone and using ipDTL.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm telling you.
God bless America.
And God bless Kevin Leach. I mean, this
God
technology.
bless Kevin Leach.
Who's like 12 years old, too, which is ridiculous.
I know it if you've seen Kevin. Yeah, he's and he's a fantastic Lindy Hop dancer. But yeah, obviously, we're big fans of this technology and how radically it has changed the way we do what we do, and has afforded us the ability to really, we talk about cord cutting all the time in so many different ways in our business now, and in broadcasting now, and in media now. So everybody's cutting the cord, But this is really truly cutting the cord for us. Once I was able to call AT&T and tell them, you know what, kids, I'm saying goodbye. And after 22 years of having my ISDN service, and paying, $6.25 a month for it, and that's not $6.25.
Wow.
To be able to say, I'm done, was crazy. So that's that's been fantastic for me to be able to do this. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, Joe. I don't want to keep you. I know you got family.
Thank you, Townie. This
get
was
back.
so cool.
Yeah,
this is the only way I can get Joe to talk to me, so I really appreciate this, Townsend.
you guys are brilliant, and I love you both. Well, thank you so much, and Joe, I guess I'll see you around the campus
Townsend.
when you get back to town. Jack, I'll see you around as well, my friend.
I will see you around, Townie.
I love you, my brother, and please tell Kevin
fun
thank
there.
you for inventing this. It's awesome.
I certainly will. I'll pass
All right,
along
man.
your regards.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
you guys. Thanks
Be
so
well,
much. Okay. Talk to you
All
soon.
right, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye,
All right,
Joe.
take care.
Okay. Bye, Jack.
Bye now.